It's been more than a year since the Urban County Council approved expanding Lexington's urban service boundary. That line separates the urban areas from farmland. Well, now the city's planning team is seeking feedback from the public about how Lexington is going to grow. New at 11, WKYT's Jeremy Toms joined them at this open house that was held this evening about the project.
Lexington gave initial approval to expanding its urban service boundary in June of 2023, prompting a type of development that hasn't happened since 1996.
This is going to shape, Lexington's future for probably another 3 decades.
Chris Taylor manages the city's long-range planning and says that their master plan will be critical to guiding the city's changes.
For us, it's about making sure that we develop in a way that there's enough revenue coming in over a longer period of time to make sure that development pays for itself.
Their designs are drafted for 5 expansion areas, 1 along Winchester Road, 3 in between Todd's Road and Athens Boonesboro, and a 5th at Manowar and Parker's Mill Road. Together they total more than 2,800 acres.
A lot of it is trying to figure out ways to do development a little better, a little more efficiently, and a little more sustainable than we've done them in the past.
At Monday's meeting, the most public input centered on the smallest land area, which Taylor says is focused on making the Cardinal Run area more developed and connected.
Neighborhoods obviously have lots of feelings about those future connections, but it's about education. It's a public health and safety issue for our police and fire to make sure we have adequate connections to serve all areas of town.
But they want to invite all of those feelings and feedback to make sure they get these changes right.
So other projects that might need to be, added to a list of priorities, other types of infrastructure that might be missing that are in an area. It's about listening to what folks still need in these areas that are underserved right now.
In Lexington, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
And Taylor says they will hold a public hearing in the fall to have their master plan adopted. It all has to be finalized by December of this year. Until then, they are accepting any feedback that you may have online through their website, and that is urbangrowthlex.org.